It is happening, guys. Star Citizen Alpha 4.0 is around the corner. That's right, the next major update that is going to completely change Star Citizen is scheduled for the next quarter. Quarter 3, it's not even the end of the year according to CIG. Quarter 3, so in theory it should be even before CitizenCon, which is happening in October. October is quarter 4, so who knows, maybe if CIG are on time, which can happen sometimes, right? They did say that server meshing should be easier to create than the replication layer. Then there's even a chance that we might see this update before the end of September, which would be absolutely amazing. Now, I'm being optimistic. Probably we'll see that for CitizenCon, but I guess we will see. Anyway, let's have a look at what is in Star Citizen Alpha 4.0. And of course, we have server meshing, right? That is the sine qua non condition for all of that to be possible. The implementation of server meshing enables multiple servers per shard to improve load distribution and facilitates navigation between two solar systems. This is what is going to allow the Pyro system to finally be in the game. But with server meshing are going to be coming some refactors, including a mission system refactor here, which is going to make sure that these missions become compatible with server meshing, which is going to allow for easier creation and maintenance of mission content. We are also going to have a transit system refactor as well, which is going to make use of the transfer from one server to a server, perhaps. And this is going to be making sure that trams and elevators are compatible with server meshing, as well as generally being more robust. So that means that perhaps they are not going to fall through the planets, or they're not going to be just missing. And of course, since we are going to have server meshing, well, the entire Pyro system is coming, including Pyro 1, which is the first planet from the sun in the Pyro system. It's a thick, high-pressure atmosphere planet that hides a strange landscape beset by powerful winds and lightning strikes. And under the clouds, there is an ecosystem of plants and animals that endure its very high temperatures and even endure the powerful stellar flames. And I've been to Pyro 1 in the Pyro playtest, and it is a very strange place indeed. It is said also to be the location of the famous Pyro crab, but this is not scheduled for 4.0. It's probably going to be coming in a future patch. But yeah, it's like 300 degrees once you're there. It's super, super hot. So make sure you have your best equipment when you go there. Otherwise, you're going to be dying very quickly. Pyro 2, also known as Monox. One of my favorite locations in the Pyro system here, the second planet from the sun in the Pyro system. It is called Monox because it has carbon monoxide in its atmosphere. Overall, it's a temperate climate planet here, with which could have been a terraforming candidate. However, because of the sun, it made it too dangerous for human habitations, and so the UNE, the United Nations of Earth, refused to clear it for terraformation, which means that instead, corporations went there to harvest natural resources, and eventually outlaws went there to take over once the corporations went out. So this is like a planet that looks like the Far West, very sandy, very dusty, reddish type of planet. I didn't notice any bodies of water there, but it definitely looks like the Far West. It's a very cool place. Bloom, Pyro 3, which kind of makes me think of Scotland for some reason. This is the third planet from the sun in the Pyro system. It is cold but naturally habitable. It became the epicenter of the mining endeavors in Pyro, and also as a result, these companies created barracks and also processing centers, which were in use until the cost of maintenance could no longer be offset by mining profits. They have been abandoned since then, but they are still occupied by squatters, outlaws, and foreign miners who lack the means to return to the UEE. It's possible that we might see some distribution centers there, but we're definitely going to be seeing also the derelict settlements, which we're going to be talking about later. We are also going to have Pyro 4, which was not in the playtest. This is a planet that became a moon of Pyro 5 here. It used to have another atmosphere, but it seems like it was a big collision that sent the planet much closer to Pyro 5. And right now, there's a new atmosphere that formed, so we should be able to go there. They don't say if it's breathable or not. We'll have to figure it out. And it is said that Pyro 4 is set to one day collide with Pyro 5. Pyro 5 is a gas giant. said to be a rather boring gas giant. You're not going to have any platforms there, no cities, but people are harvesting the hydrogen of the gas giant, so that's basically it. It's green and yellow. It should be quite an interesting sight from far away. It also has quite a few moons, including Ignis, Vatra, Adir, Pharaoh, Fuego, and Vor, and these moons are known to be rather geologically active, so we're going to be checking these out when we will be discovering the Paro system. There's also Pyro 6, known as Terminus, and this is the outermost world in the Paro system. Its nitrogen-oxygen atmosphere is technically breathable, but there's also a high amount of methane and carbon dioxide, so if you are exposed to this atmosphere for a long time, there should be negative health effects. There is, of course, a big station around Pyro 6, and that is the Rune Station, which is now being taken over by the Xenothreat gang. So speaking of the stations, well, there are also going to be the Paro space stations, which are going to be run-down rest-stop stations in the Paro system, which provide basic services such as repair, sustenance, and commerce. Who wants noodles, right? The best place to get noodles in the Paro system. We're going to have the colonialism outposts here, small homes for AI to live and shelter. They consist of a central hub and a few optional internal and external modules. They provide the basic necessities to support a small group of people for an indefinite amount of time. Great little location here. I loved going there. There are missions if you want to kill NPCs, or you can trade, or you can just repair. There they have some small pads here that kind of look very Star Wars-ish. Very, very cool looking places. And of course, to go to the Paro system, we're going to have jump points here. This is going to be the very first jump point into the persistent universe, connecting Stanton to the Paro system. This is going to include necessary vehicle items and functionalities, as well as inner tunnels and the jump point itself. We're going to have solar bursts. Yes, we have experienced that in the Paro playtest. Very cool, very dangerous. These are natural disasters that happen regularly around all the stars like Paro. And here the sun is going to erupt very high energy particles generated from its surface and traveling at 15% of the light of speed throughout the entire star system. This dangerous high energy particle wave can be avoided by hiding behind objects that are big enough, such as planets and moons. We are going to have life support. Now, this is something that CIG have been talking about for quite some time. The implementation of the first iteration of onboard life support systems in ships, which entails a ship component that generates breathable gas when turned on, and management of said life support component within the vehicle loadout manager. That means that if your life support system is down and you do not have a helmet, you are going to die. We are going to have engineering. Maybe you can repair your life support system, or maybe other components, because this is going to allow players to manage and maintain and repair various ship systems. We are going to have different roles that can provide a unique gameplay loop. With engineering gameplay, players are going to have to contend with item degradation, malfunctions, and power management. Charge and Drain is also coming to 4.0. This is a surprise. I was not expecting this, but that's going to add the ability for players to drain, store, and charge objects with power using the multi-tool. Includes the ability to overcharge objects, but also remove distortion damage. So I guess that we are also going to need to power in all multi-tools, right? Multi-tool updates, by the way. So this is going to raise the multi-tool up to the standard form from Squadron 42 with additional functionality like cutting. Finally, right, it's going to be used for specific scenarios, repair, and updates like improved handling, integrated UI, and the use of batteries to operate it finally, right? That's what we were talking about. Fire hazards. Yes, fire is going to come to Star Citizen. I'm a bit scared of that. I hate fire in games, but I suppose it's going to make it more realistic and fun for some people. Implementing fire hazard system, which tracks fire and temperature on static and dynamic objects. For the initial release, fire will be set up on a few select vehicles. Phew, not everything, right? And with fires come fire extinguishers here. All tasks required to implement functioning fire extinguisher systems in games will be there, and this feature will work alongside the fire hazard system. We're going to have new MFDs, or at least an MFD rework and new displays here. So they're going to rebuild ship multifunction displays in building blocks, including new design, functionalities, and customization options. This update also includes a select number of updated ship HUDs, giving greater visibility as well as a manufacturer-based visual overall, meaning that ship displays should be very unique from one manufacturer to another. Now we're moving to something completely different here. This is the fauna, the quasi-grazer, also known as the space cow, right? This is a warm-blooded herd animal that was originally discovered on the vast plains of Quasi on Terra. Most notable for their unusual method of carrying their eggs in their underside. The quasi-grazer has become one of the standard seed animal, and they can be commonly found on most terraformed planets in the UEE. We should be expecting to see the quasi-grazer, of course, on Microtech, maybe on Hurston, although I would not really count on that. And who knows, maybe some planets of the Paro system like Bloom, for example. We're going to have additional player customizations here, so that's going to be adding new hair and facial options, as well as face piercing, if this is something that you are into. They did not mention the tattoos, so maybe that's going to be coming with 4.1. And last but not least, only one ship is now officially announced for Star Citizen Alpha 4.0, but I'm sure that more will be coming further down the line. They always do that first. They start with 1 or 2, and then more are coming or more are announced. And the first one that's announced for 4.0 is the RSI Zeus Mark II, but only the ES version, so maybe the other ones will be coming later, maybe for CitizenCon. So there we have it, guys. That's what we have to talk about regarding all the features that have been announced for Star Citizen Alpha 4.0. It's actually not that much, but at the same time, I think that for this initial release of 4.0, Cloud Imperium Games are going to be focusing on the technological side and adding the content that is required to make this update relevant, and then they will build on perhaps with a 4.1 that will be coming shortly after, probably at the end of the year. So I guess that we'll see, right? But let me know in the comment section down below, guys. Were you expecting 4.0 to come in the third quarter? Now, again, this is all subject to changes. There's going to be delays. We should be expecting delays. After all, we got 3.23 in May, right? So who knows when it's going to be coming. But CIG have said that multiple times that server meshing is the easy part of bringing 4.0. The most difficult part was actually the replication layer, which is now finally out of the door. So maybe they're right. Maybe it's going to be easy. They've already had playtests and in Evo Caddies, and they've said that it's working quite well, actually. So we might actually be in for a positive surprise. Usually I'm an optimistic type of person, so I'm going to go for the optimistic approach and think that they perhaps are going to be able to make it. Who knows, even before CitizenCon. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you enjoy this type of content, let me know with a thumbs up. Subscribe for more. A big shout out to everybody who's been helping sending me to CitizenCon. So we're almost half of the way there. If you want to help out, the link is in the description down below. Also, a big shout out to the people who keep the lights on via Patreon or the YouTube membership program, including Dr. Robin, Zero Crusher, Deplorable Fidel, and Ducky2Ducker. I have been Iran. I wish you guys a wonderful day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Key